Let's dive into a story that starts out as this picture-perfect romantic trip and ends in absolute, undeniable terror. We're going to uncover the legend of Bhoot Bangla, the mansion of the ghostly groom, where a simple birthday celebration spirals into a nightmare that you just can't wake up from. You know how all the best horror stories start, right? With someone having absolutely no clue what's about to hit them. For Arav, this was that moment, the beginning of something that wasn't just going to change his life, but completely shatter his reality. All right, so let's set the scene. We've got our couple, Arav and Nisha, who've been together for 5 years. For Nisha's birthday, Arav plans this perfect surprise, a camping trip, just the two of them out under the stars. It's supposed to be all about them, a celebration of their love, far away from the rest of the world. And here's what you need to know about them. Arav's a photographer. He sees the world, as it is, through his camera lens. But Nisha, she's a writer, and she's obsessed with old, crumbling ruins and ghost stories. And it's that fascination with the dark and mysterious that, without them knowing it, kind of puts them on this collision course with something terrible. A real be careful what you wish for situation. And this is where everything starts to go wrong. About 2 hours in, they find themselves in a place called Roothirpur. Now, the name itself comes from the word for blood, which is your first major red flag, right? But the creepiest part, this village isn't on any map. It's like a place that time and the rest of the world just forgot. So as they drive into this forgotten village, the whole vibe just changes. The sun seems to set way too fast, and they find themselves in this place that just feels wrong, deeply wrong. And this is where they're going to get their first real taste of the horror that's waiting for them. I mean, just picture this. The streets are completely empty. Not a soul in sight, yet every single house has one torch burning outside. And every single door is painted this shocking blood-red color with these weird black mantras scrawled all over them. It's not just an empty town. It feels like it's been prepared for some kind of ritual. So Arav, being a photographer, gets out to take a few pictures of this bizarre scene. And then, out of thin air, this frantic old woman in a red sari just appears in front of him. She yells this terrifying, cryptic warning at him and then just vanishes. A wedding? In a ghost town? Yeah, the feeling of dread is just cranking up to 11. Okay, so obviously they're freaked out. They get out of Roothirpur and set up camp by a river, trying to just shake off that creepy feeling. Nisha, trying to save the mood, asks Arav to take some pictures of her by the campfire. And this simple, sweet moment is about to confirm that they are definitely not alone. The way this happens is just pure nightmare fuel. So Arav points his camera, takes a picture of Nisha smiling by the fire. He snaps another one. And then he just casually looks down at the little screen on his camera, and what he sees makes his heart stop. Because in the photos, there's someone else there. A tall figure, dressed like a groom, is standing right behind Nisha. And with every picture Arav takes, the figure gets a little bit closer to her. But here's the kicker. When Arav looks up from the camera, there's no one there. The ghost only exists in the photograph. It's a digital phantom, and it's stalking them. What an absolutely terrifying story, right? And look, if this kind of horror, with these ancient curses and terrifying ghosts, is your thing, then you're going to want to hear about this. PVR Inox is actually running this awesome season of screens, and they're celebrating all things horror. The lineup is fantastic. You've got Ready or Not, the classic The Mummy, Hukum, and of course, Bhoot Bangla, the film that this whole story is based on. And get this, they've got a little something extra for the real horror fans. If you catch the first 3 movies, you get a chance to win a free drink and popcorn combo for the last film, Huck. Not a bad deal, right? So, the next night, they're coming back from a hike, and they see it. That mansion the old woman warned them about. Only now, it's not some dark, creepy ruin. It's lit up like a palace. Like there's a huge party going on. And even though every alarm bell should be ringing, they can't help but go closer. And what they find inside is just surreal. There's this massive feast laid out. We're talking a 56-course meal on silver platters, but there's not a single person in the hall. It looks like a celebration, but it smells overwhelmingly of dead flowers. It's a ghost party, and no one was invited. And while they're standing there just trying to make sense of this impossible scene, wham! The huge front doors just slam shut behind them with this deafening boom. That's it. The trap has been sprung. They're prisoners now. So they're locked in. And then Arav hears it, that chanting, those same mantras from the village, but this time they're coming from the top of the grand staircase. The wedding is about to begin. And then it just happens, one horrifying step after another. The groom, the same ghost from the photos, appears at the top of the stairs. Arav can only watch, totally paralyzed, as Nisha's eyes go completely white and she starts walking towards this thing, like she's in a trance. The ghost places this withered, dead garland around her neck, and in a cloud of smoke and a final terrible scream from Nisha, they both vanish. And that's it. The lights go out. The food disappears. The groom is gone. Arav is just alone, standing in this dark, silent ruin with Nisha's screams still echoing in his ears. She's been taken. He's completely panicked. The doors are open again, so he just runs. He runs back to the village, desperate for answers, for anyone. And he finds her, this same old woman. And this time, she tells him the whole terrible truth.
So here's the whole twisted story. A long, long time ago, a truly wicked landlord lived in that mansion, and on every new moon, he would force a village girl to marry him and then sacrifice her to gain more power. The villagers eventually had enough and burned him and the mansion down. But his ghost? It's still there, cursed to repeat the ritual over and over. And guess what? Tonight was the new moon.
Arav, he's begging her. How do I get her back? What do I do? And she just gives him this final heartbreaking verdict. There is no way back. Once you are chosen to be the bride of the mansion, you can never, ever return. You know, their whole nightmare started because they were curious. They saw light and they walked towards it. It's a pretty chilling reminder that some doors probably should just stay closed. So it makes you think, doesn't it? If you were in their shoes, would you have been brave enough? Or maybe foolish enough to go inside? Or would you have just walked away?